What's up, guys? It's Keefe. You know, when you turn 20 years old, a lot of things start to change. It's a whole new decade. You know, you go from feeling like, you know what, I was just in high school, I was just a kid, I was just having to live with my parents and listen to everything my parents said, to a new evolution in your life. There's new expectations people put on you, and there should be new expectations you put on yourself. And with that, I have 5 things in this video that you need to stop doing by the age of 20. Before we get into that, be sure to hit the bell icon and subscribe button so you don't miss tomorrow's video, and let's get straight into it. Alright guys, the first thing I got here is having a dirty room. Now, I remember I used to have a total mess of a room when I was in high school, honestly, until I turned about 21-ish years old. And there is just a huge difference between the way your mind works when you're operating in a dirty room versus a clean room. It's just like an entire perspective shift. Like, you take yourself more seriously when your room's clean. In fact, one thing that I recommend guys do first thing when they get up in the morning is make their bed, because this kind of establishes the fact that you're taking some proactive control over your life in that moment, and you're starting the day off by organizing your life. And this just kind of has a way of making your mind seem more orderly. If you go in your room, there's underwear on the floor, there's trash everywhere, things like that, it's just like, does that look like the kind of place that a millionaire is building a great business, or that you bring a really attractive girl home to, or something like that? So having a clean room is one of those things that it's just part of being a mature person and grown up, which at 20 years old, you're really starting to hit that grown-up kind of range. Second thing I got, guys, is being ungrateful. You got to stop this, okay? I used to be so ungrateful for everything, and once you get your perspective right, and honestly, gratitude is really one of these things that it's completely up to you whether or not you're going to feel gratitude, because it's not really just going to come to you. So you got to actively choose to be grateful for the things in your life. The human mind is conditioned to look for the things that aren't up to par, basically, in our lives. So rather than being grateful for the fact that we have a roof over our head, we compare it to somebody who has a house that we think is nicer, right? I remember I used to have a really bad habit of not being grateful for the things my parents were giving to me. And this is really not, like, this is something that will start to change naturally in your 20s, simply because your perspective towards your parents changes as you realize a lot of the things they told you to do when you were younger was the best thing for you, and you were the one who was like pissed off, but you didn't know any better. So your perspective will shift some, but focusing on being grateful for the things in your life, because you have been given an awful lot. Third thing I've got, guys, is caring what other people think. Don't miss out on your life. Just make other people happy, okay? This is a terrible decision. This is a high school thing to do, right? Everybody in high school's got to have the conforming clothing styles and stuff like that. And one of the more interesting things I remember when I turned about 20-ish years old, went off to colleges, is how people really start to fractionate, right? When you're in high school, everything's this real, like, conformist, like, cult almost kind of vibe. And when you get out of high school, everybody fractionates off and becomes more individual over time. Don't fight that process. Embrace it. Go be you, and don't focus on what other people think, because they're not going to like you if you're doing something that's non-conforming to what they're comfortable with. But you can't live your life for other people, or you're just robbing yourself. So don't do that. Live for you, not for other people. Fourth thing I got, guys, is to stop being comfortable. Your whole life, but especially your 20s, should be about taking bold actions and making massive changes in your life for the better. You should always be future-oriented. Start a new job in a city. Start a YouTube channel if that's what you want to do. Get in shape. Talk to the girl. Whatever it is, just go do it. Step out of your comfort zone. The best moments of my life have been when I stepped out of my comfort zone in massive fashion. Things might not always happen the way I expect, but I develop as a person. I change as a person, I evolve, and my whole life does get better in the long run. So focus on getting out of your comfort zone. Your 20s are a time where usually you don't have much going on, like as far as like long-term things, right? Like, you probably aren't married, you probably don't have kids, so it's just a great time to really take action, take risks, move somewhere new, like I said, or something like that. Just doing bold things, getting out of your comfort zone, growing and developing. Fifth one I got, guys, is hanging out with anybody, okay? This is a mistake that guys tend to make late into their 20s, but when you're in high school, like I was talking about earlier, there's that real conformist, cultish kind of vibe. You spend a lot of time with a lot of different people because you're in classes with them. There's this forced like forced interaction with a lot of people, and that transitions to outside of school or to other parts of life and things like that. Whereas when you're in your 20s, it's time to treat your time like what it is, a valuable resource. In fact, the most valuable resource you have. Do not waste your time with people who aren't up to par. If the people in your life are not pushing you in the correct direction or helping you think about the right things, then they're not the kind of people you should be spending your time with. And you need to accept the fact that some people are going to think you're an asshole when you start cutting them out of your lives, but you're just going to have to accept that. You got to kind of accept, like, part of your 20s, honestly, if I was going to throw a bonus one on here, and your 20s, you should learn to be an asshole, honestly. Learn to be comfortable telling people no and not caring if they're upset with you. But like I said, guys, don't give your time to just anybody. I remember wasting so much time with people who, like, I kind of had a friendship with, but it was more like I just didn't want to be alone. They didn't want to be alone, so we hung out, did dumb stuff, wasted time. This is not how we want to do it in our 20s. This is a great way to waste your 20s. But guys, that's all I got for this video. If you got something out of it, give me a like so I can reach more guys through the algorithm. Hit the bell icon and subscribe button so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later.